นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ Hello everyone. Today we have a Dhamma session with me, Bhikkhuni Khemavamsi from Thailand. The topic for today's session is the fuel for ignorance. The fuel or the food. Actually, in Thai translation, they use the word food. But food or fuel is like the factor, right? So it's probably like the same thing. Okay, I have attached the link for you. Okay. Hello, Greg. Good morning. Okay, so we're gonna start. Fuel for ignorance is from the Tipitaka Anguttara Nikaya 10.61. 10.61. This sutta is very interesting because the Buddha talk about the factor about the fuel for the ignorance and for the opposite, which is the vichya and vimutti, knowledge and liberation. So from this sutra we can learn both ways, right? The ignorance and the vichya or the knowledge and liberation. Here from the start, the Buddha said, mendicants, it is said that no first point of ignorance is evident, before which there was no ignorance, and afterwards it came to be. And yet it is evident that there is a specific condition for ignorance. So we learn that, okay, there is a specific condition for ignorance. I say, the Buddha said, ignorance is fueled by something, is not unfueled. It's something that, come up from the factor. What is the fuel for ignorance? What it comes from? The Buddha said, the 5 hindrances. The 5 hindrances that hang on. What I have. The 5 hindrances is sensory desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and also the doubt. The 5 hindrances, the Buddha said, is the factor or the fuel for ignorance. Hello, Shayanta. And then the Buddha, talk in order. He said in order. What is the fuel for the 5 hindrances? The Buddha said, the 3 kinds of misconduct. The misconduct by action, by speech, and the mind. When you, whatever you do, physically, with the body, the mind, or the speech, that is the wrong deeds, wrong action, the Buddha said. That is the cause for the 5 hindrances. For the sensory desire, for the ill will, for the sloth and torpor, for the restlessness and worry, and also the doubt. And then what is the fuel for the 3 kinds of misconduct? The Buddha said, lack of sense restraint. This is very important for the sense restraint, that you have to restrain or to control, to protect the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and mind. For example, for the monastic, before we go to the village for the alms route, right? We have to, keep in mind that we have to protect the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. That don't, look at everything, because if you look at something and it might trigger the sensory desire, it might trigger the old memory about your past life as the lay people, and you will think like, oh, when I live as a lay people, it's much more comfortable than the life as the monastic, something like that, and you want to disrobe. That's one of the example that we all, when we read in the Tipitaka, and we can see that quite often. So the three kinds of misconduct is the fool for the lack of sense restraint. And then the Buddha said, what is the fool for the lack of sense restraint? You should say, lack of mindfulness and situational awareness. Sati and Sampachanya in Pali. Sati is mindfulness and Sampachanya situational awareness. You don't, for example, you have to be for the situational awareness. That means like when you walk back, walk forth, or when you stretch your arms, your legs, something like that. You have to be careful, be mindful. When you're gonna walk, when you're gonna turn left, turn right, something like that. That is situational awareness or sampachanya. It comes together, mindfulness, sati in Pali, and sampachanya or situational awareness. The Buddha said, the fool for lack of restraint is because the lack of mindfulness and situational awareness. And then the Buddha said, the lack of mindfulness and situational awareness is fooled by something. What is the fool for the lack of mindfulness and situational awareness? The Buddha said, irrational application of mind, ayoniso manasika, anyoniso manasikara in Pali language. Irrational application of mind, when you look at things, and when you look at something without wisdom, without mindfulness, then you're gonna, lack of the mindfulness, and you're gonna, bring the bad thought, maybe bad thought, and when you don't protect your eye, gonna bring bad thought, bad memory, and then you're gonna talk bad things, right? And then you're gonna be the fool for the ill will, and the evil gonna be the fool for the avisha, like adding up the ignorance. Next, the Buddha said, what is the fool for the irrational application of mind? It's because of the lack of faith, lack of sattha. Because you don't have the faith, then you don't, know how to, like, yeah, I don't know the word in English, but yeah, you don't know how to, use I like apply the mind to the right thing. And the lack of faith is fueled by something, it's not unfold. What is the fuel for the lack of faith? The Buddha said, listening to an untrue teaching. When you listen to untrue teaching, it's gonna bring you to the, it's gonna, be the factor for the lack of faith. And listening to an untrue teaching is fooled by something. What is it? The Buddha said, associating with untrue persons. So here the Buddha said, in order. Now this is the sutra, the name Avijja Sutra. Avijja is ignorance, and the Buddha talk about, the food, the factor for the ignorance to arise. It's not something that arises, like without any factor, something like that. It has here in the Buddha said in this, there is a specific condition for ignorance. And we learn that, okay, the specific condition for ignorance, what is it? the five hindrances: sensory desire, evil, torpor, and so on. What is the fuel for the five hindrances? The three kinds of misconduct: body, speech, and mind. What is the cause? Lack of restraint. What is the cause? Lack of mindfulness and situational awareness. What is the cause? Irrational application of mind. What is the cause? Lack of faith. What is it? What is the cause? Listening to an untrue teaching. What is the root of the cause of all things? Associating with untrue persons. So this remind me of one of the sutra that the Buddha, the variable Ananta asked the Buddha, like, like when you associate with good friend, Kalyana Mitta, good friend, wise friend, is only half of the holy life. Is that right? The Buddha said, no, variable Ananta, no, Ananta, not the half of the holy life, but it's the whole of the holy life. The life, the path that you're going to lead within the Noble Eightfold Path depends on the true persons, Kalyana Mitta, good friends, wise friend, the one who is wise, the one who can guide you, which is the right direction, which is the wrong direction. So if you associate with untrue persons, not the good friends, then everything, gonna lead you to ignorance and piling up, adding more over and over, like adding up the ignorance, right? In this way, the Buddha said, when the factor of associating with untrue person is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of listening to an untrue teaching. So, next. When the factor of listening to an untrue teaching is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of lack of faith. When the factor of lack of faith is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of irrational application of mind. When the factor of irrational application of mind is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of lack of mindfulness and situational awareness. And it, gonna fulfill leading up in this order. That's the fuel for ignorance, and that's how it's fulfilled. It's like the rain pours down on a mountaintop and the water flows downhill to fill the hollows, creeks, and as they become full, they fill up the pool fill up the lakes fill up the streams, and the stream fill up the rivers, and as the river becomes full, they fill up the ocean. That's the fuel for the ocean, and that's how it's filled up. So it has the cause and effect. It has the cause and factor. So if we know the factor, then we know how to do with our way of life, right? So if we know that the root of the factor of the cause for the ignorance is the associating with untrue person, then we know that we should associate with true friends, with Kalyana Mitta, and then listen to the true teaching, and then build up the faith and so on. So this is the first part of the sutra about the ignorance. The next part, the Buddha said, I say that knowledge and freedom are fueled by something, they're not unfueled. And what is the fuel for knowledge and freedom? You should say the 7 awakening factors. So this is the next part, the second part. The first part, the Buddha talked about the avisha, ignorance. The second part, the Buddha talked the opposite thing, which is the knowledge and freedom. In Pali, they use the word vichya and vimutti. So it's like the nibbana. Nibbana, vichya, vimutti is the same thing. It's just a synonym, right? When you have the right knowledge and then you have the right liberation. You reach the right liberation because you have the right knowledge, something like that. So the fuel for the knowledge and freedom is the seven awakening factor that we have discussed earlier, in previous weeks. So you can, go and listen to it in detail. The seven factors, the seven awakening factor has the full, what is it? The four kinds of mindfulness meditation. The four kinds of mindfulness meditation is satipatthana, that you concentrate on the body, feeling, mind, and dhamma, right? And the four kinds of mindfulness meditation has the four, which is the three kinds of good conduct, wholesome or the good, what's it? Verbal action, physical action, or the mental action. And the three kinds of good conduct has the four, which is sense restraint. The sense restraint has the four, which is the mindfulness and situation awareness. Mindfulness and situation awareness has the four, which is rational application. Faith is the four for rational application. Listening to the true teaching is the factor for the faith, and the root of them all, associating with true persons. So even though this sutra is gonna talk about, avijja, ignorance, or talk about the final destination that we wish to reach, which is the nibbana, knowledge and liberation. But from this sutra, we know that what is the starting point. Okay, we know the starting point, which is associating with true friends, kalyana mitta. Why? Because if you associate with the true friends, the one who is wiser, the one who has like the moral conduct, then they're gonna, lead you to the right teacher, and then you will be able to listen to the true teaching, the true words of the Buddha. When you listen to the true teaching, gonna build up the faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the noble disciple, Sangha, right? When you have the faith, then when you have the faith, plus you have the chance to listen to the true teaching, then you know what is the rational application of mind, what you should apply the mind to, what is the right teaching, what is the wisdom, what is, like the moral conduct and things like that. So you know what you should do to the certain situation. You will be able to, apply the mind to things that contact you, the phassa, right? So then you can have the rational application of mind. And with the yoniso manasikara, right, rational application of mind, then you start to practice mindfulness, right? This is like the process that we are now. We practice mindfulness and situational awareness to have the mindfulness, right? But we have to practice mindfulness. We have to practice to, sense restraint, protect the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind to things that come to us. Don't let the mind, like or dislike, want or don't want or, love or angry or something like that. You have to, be mindful and know how to restrain the doors, which is ayatana, right? The sense door, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. After we know about the sense restraint, and then we're gonna try to cultivate, try to have the good conduct in body, speech, and mind. After that, how we're going to practice more and more. in the Satipatthana 4 or the 4 kinds of mindfulness meditation. So this is like the process that we cultivate wholesome qualities. It's in the process of cultivate mindfulness, sense restraint, and everything, all together. And after that, you're gonna um, know about the 7 awakening factor, right? That okay, um, of course, have the mindfulness, right? And then hang on. What is it? Dhammavicaya. You have to have the wisdom, investigation of the Dhamma. You know what to use. You know which Dhamma to apply to the certain situation. You have the right effort, to abandon unwholesome qualities and cultivate wholesome qualities. And then you're gonna, follow the process of the rapture, of the calm, one-pointedness of mind, and then equanimity. No hate, no love. For example, no hate, no like. Today I discussed, I talked the Dhamma with one of the Bhikkhu, and he said, like, when something comes up, when you see things, try to protect the mind from the, the here, the 5 hindrances. Gonna talk here. The 5 hindrances: sensory desire, ill will, right? And then sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and then the doubt. But 3 things here: restlessness, torpor, and doubt. Hang on, leave it here. Focus, sensory desire, and ill will. So it's just like and dislike, desire, ill will. So it's opposite thing. So try to focus these 2 first. When you see something, automatically, right, naturally, like, oh, I like this one, I don't like this one, I like to hear that more, I don't like to hear that, I want to touch that, I want to listen to this, I don't want to do that. You just have like or don't like, want or don't want, desire or ill will. So try to protect the mind not to, sway to either of these 2. Be equanimity. You just know, like, oh, like, I like, oh, it's just the like. But if you like it, maybe you're gonna have the, build up to be the strong desire, and it's the cause of suffering. You be mindful about that. Okay. Then I'm gonna, be in the middle. Or when I see that I don't want to hear that person, hate, that is not good. Hate burning inside, come to the middle. So the 5 hindrances, which is the 4 for the ignorance, right, is something that we, get used to in our daily life, right? When we see something, I like it. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I want it. Oh, I don't want it. Try to stay in the middle, equanimity. You just know what is it. You just know the feeling that is arise. It's not right or wrong for you to like or don't like, but just for you to know that the desire arise, ill will arise, and then ill will, desire, unwholesome quality, abandon. That's it. Because if you say like, oh, I like this feeling, oh, desire arise, I hate myself for the desire to arise, that is the tosa, evil again, right? Tosa, anger, hatred. So it's unwholesome qualities again. But if you just like, oh, desire arise, is the desire, is not me. It can arise, it's natural, but abandon. Don't let it, flourish, don't let it expand, something like that. So this is something, some, you know, conversation that I discussed with one of the Bhikkhu today, which is very, very interesting. And it also, like linked to this sutra as well. Okay. And then the Buddha said, in the same way, not this one. In this way, when the factor of associating with true persons is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of listening to the true teaching. When the factor of listening to the true teaching is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of faith. When the factor of faith is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of rational application of mind. When the factor of rational application of mind is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of mindfulness and situational awareness. When the factor of mindfulness and situational awareness is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of sense restraint. When the factor of sense restraint is fulfilled, it fulfills the factor of the three kinds of good conduct. When the factor of the three kinds of good conduct is fulfilled, it fulfills the four kinds of mindfulness meditation. When the factor of four kinds of mindfulness meditation is fulfilled, it fulfills the seven awakening factors. When the seven awakening factors are fulfilled, they fulfill knowledge and freedom. That's the fuel for knowledge and freedom, and that's how it's fulfilled. It's like when it rains heavily on a mountaintop and the water flows downhill to fill the hollows and creeks. As they become full, they fill up the pools, the pool fill up the lakes fill up the stream, and the stream fill up the rivers, and the rivers become full, they fill up the ocean. That's the fuel for the ocean, and that's how it filled up. So this is just the same way. And that's it for the Avijja Sutra, or the ignorance. Okay. So this is quite short from the Anguttara Nikaya, but very interesting because now we know the true cause for the ignorance, and also the opposite thing, the knowledge and freedom. So we now know how to lead the life, starting with the associating with true persons. First, you have to know what is the true and untrue persons, right? This is very interesting thing to, think about. Who are the true persons? Who are the untrue? Nina asks here. It's just something that I would like to talk about. Yeah, did the Buddha explain how to identify true person worth associating with versus untrue ones? There are many sutras about who are the Kalyana Mitta. But the one, like the most basic thing for the what's it called? To differentiate the true from untrue is the first, the most basic thing is the precepts. Because the one who can keep the precept or have the moral conduct, that is the one who has the wisdom. The one who has the wisdom have the moral conduct. The one who have the moral conduct has the wisdom. It's the same. It's something in the sutra, the Buddha said, it's something that you have to, accompany, come together. Moral conduct and wisdom come together. It's just like when you clean one hand, you have to use another hand to clean it. So the moral conduct or the precepts clean the wisdom, and the wisdom cleans the moral conduct. Mhm. Yeah, so the now that I can say that is about the precepts. Yeah, and also there are many, I think many sutras that discuss in detail about the Kalyana Mitta or the true friends. Here from the Iti Vuttaka, 1.17, the Buddha declares, with regard to external factors, I don't envision any other single factor like admirable friendship or the Kalyana Mitta as doing so much for a monk in training or for you in training who has not attained the highest goal but remain intent on the unsurpassed safety from bondage. A monk who is a friend with admirable person abandon what is unskillful and develop what is skillful. Mhm. And what is meant by admirable friendship or Kalayanamitta? There is the case where a lay person in whatever town or village he may dwell spend time with householder or householder son, young or old, who are advanced in virtue. See the virtue, the moral conduct or the precept. The one who are advanced in virtue. He talks with them, engage them in discussion. He emulates consummate conviction in those who are consummate in conviction, consummate virtue in those who are consummate in virtue, consummate generosity in those who are consummate in generosity, and consummate discernment in those who are consummate in discernment. This is called admirable friendship. So there are something who just like the quality for the Kalyana Mitta or admirable friendship is the virtue, precepts, moral conduct, just the same virtue. And then um, faith, someone who has the faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, are advanced in virtue, are advanced in faith, are advanced in generosity, loving kindness, generosity, compassion, and are advanced in wisdom. If they are advanced in this, you know what is right and what is wrong, that is called the Kalyana Mitta, someone who can, help you, accompany you in the path of the holy life. Mhm. Okay, so if you have any more question? Lily said, Dear Ayya, for the like and dislike, how to deal with people judgment on us. When a person judged me harshly, I want to revenge and judge back even harsher. Is it valid or is there other way out? This is interesting question. During this time I have these same problems. Not during this time, I have for a long, long time. When we ordain, we don't live in the, like life that is, of course, we live a peaceful life. We meditate, we learn the Dhamma, we know how to, apply the mind. That I'm gonna explain later to Nico. Gonna apply the mind, right? But people gonna judge us, not just only for the monastic, for the lay people, for everyone in the world. People gonna judge us. People gonna talk bad thing to us. People, whether we do it or not, they're gonna blame. They're gonna talk bad thing. They're gonna lie to you. They're gonna, like many things gonna happen to you. Not only lay people, to the monastic as well. And many people talk, untrue, not true things about me, talk, have the harsh judgment, mm, something like that. And how to apply the mind, right? you just know the nature of the people. People are different. You cannot control that person or another person who have the same opinion as you, right? You can you cannot control them or ask them or want them to like you or have the right judgment toward me or something like that. Please understand me. Please have the right understanding toward me. Have the right judgment toward me. We cannot control any of that. Just like we cannot control ourselves to have the right thought only, not wrong thought. We cannot control that. So we have to, take care of the mind. If someone judge you harshly, if it's true, then okay, I'm gonna, um, okay, maybe that's bad. Okay, I know that that's bad, but okay, I'm gonna try to be a better person. If it's true, right? Gonna try to be the better person. But if it's not true, then it's just something that is not true. You yourself know the best. That you do it or not, that is true or not, you know. So the best thing for you, for me now, to answer to your question is that I don't, you know, care about other people's judgment. I don't care about other people's false speech towards me because it's not true. If it's true, then okay, thank you for teaching me that. I'm gonna change. But if it's not true, then it won't bother me anymore. In the past, I used to be like, oh, why they don't understand me? Why do they have to talk bad thing that is, something is not true to something like that. But now it's just like it's normal. It's something that we're gonna, experience. Whatever they say is something that belongs to that person. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna, admit it. And I'm not, for now, I'm not gonna explain anything because it's not gonna help. Even though how hard you try to understand, if they don't accept, if they don't want to listen to you, then it's no point. So just okay, whatever you think, up to you. But I know myself best. My family who love me know about me, and that's it. Some people say like, oh, because someone in the family, put a hard judgment toward me, then that's okay. Someone who love me, someone who trusts me, they still believe in me. They still, you know. So that's it for me. I'm not gonna revenge. I'm not gonna judge anyone back because it's the unwholesome quality, bad mental activity, bad mental action. So okay, I'm gonna be happy. No one's gonna hurt me because I'm not allowed no one to hurt me. I'm gonna protect the mind to be with the Dhamma and know that even the Buddha, right? Even the Buddha, he there was, I think, like a group of people that was hired to like talk bad thing to the Buddha for 7 days. And the Buddha, the first day, Venerable Ananta told the Buddha like, please leave this village. They come and then talk bad thing to the Buddha. That is not good. Please leave this village. And then the Buddha said, okay, what if we go to the next village? And if another person, another group of people coming to talk bad thing to you again, what are you gonna do? Venerable Ananta said, okay, then we're gonna move to another village. And the Buddha said, what if it, happen again? We cannot move forever, right? We cannot move forever to stay away from the bad, the harsh judgment, or from the lie that people, gonna throw to you. It's natural. It's something that's gonna happen. We cannot move forever. We cannot stay, try to hide. The Buddha said, if it start here, gonna end here. I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna, run away. Things will eventually pass. It's just like now it's sunny, the sunrise and then sunset. When it's rain, gonna, stop raining someday. It's gonna stop. But whether or not it's gonna stop soon or, in 10 years, you don't have to care. Care here, protect here. Because are you are not born to live for someone expectation. You are not born to live for someone, judgment. I gonna live to be happy, to be healthy, to be worthy to someone, some people. But I'm not gonna be hurt by your false speech. That's it. So whatever you're gonna say, up to you. It's not gonna be my problem anymore. This is what I do now. I hope it helped you, Lily. I'm not sure that it can help you or not, but this is from my experience. Hello, Maria. Hello, Shayanta. Hello, Dharma Learner. Good morning, Ayya, and to everyone joining in today. Wishing everyone encouragement with that practice. Keep safe and well. Hello, Nico. Hello, the 552. Hello, Tinuri Fernando. Namo Buddhaya. Hello, Manal. Tinuri Fernando joining from the New Jersey with your mother. Okay, hello, Harry. Nico asks, can you explain rational application of the mind? Rational application of the mind, the Pali word, they use the word yoniso manasikara. When you apply the mind with the knowledge. Yoni mean wisdom. Yeah, it can mean wisdom. Manasikara, you kara action, mana mind. So the action of the mind, you apply the mind with wisdom. This is the word yoniso, with wisdom. Mana, the mind. Kara, action. The mental activity, whatever you do, the mental activity, do it with wisdom. For example, when you see things, like what is it? The new kitten. We have the new kitten in the monastery. Kitten, so adorable. And if you think, so adorable, I want them to be like this, like that. That is a yoniso manasikara. You know that they are cute, but if you attach yourself to the new kittens, when they dead, gonna hurt yourself, hurt the mind. The mind's hurt, right? So like, okay, don't attach to it. You try to raise them because they are, like no mother, no father, because their parents just dead. You have to take care of them. You take care of them with compassion, with loving kindness, but try not to attach to these kittens because it's going to be the cause of suffering. If they die, if they're sick, I'm going to hurt so much. So I'm going to take care of you with the compassion. Okay, with the compassion, just for the living creature, every living creature be healthy, but try not to attach to it. If you attach to it, you're gonna suffer if it, they all dead. So just use the wisdom. So When you see things, when you know, anything, use the wisdom with it. That is yoniso manasikara. Or you use the Dhamma. Yoniso manasikara is the cause for the wisdom. But first, the cause for the wisdom, two factors. There are two factors. Palato kosa, you listen or you read, but in the past they listen, and then yoniso manasikara, you use the knowledge that you listen here, apply the mind with the wisdom from listening or from reading, and then the more you do it, it's gonna be the factor for the wisdom to arise. So if the problem arises, use something that you used to hear, right? The wisdom from listening, and then apply it to the mind, and then you're gonna find the solution, something like that. VL Hari Naidu, what is Sotapanna? Can Upasaka become a Sotapanna? Sotapanna is the stream enterer, is the first level of the noble disciple. The noble disciple, there are four, right? The main four. But if you're gonna elaborate, like it's gonna be 8. But first four. Sotapanna, the first enterer. Sakithakami, the once returner. Saka is mean once. Anakami, non-returner. They're not gonna be reborn in the womb again. Gonna be reborn in the Brahma world. And Arahantship is the perfected one. Reach Nibbana. Sotapanna, the stream enterer, is the first level of the noble disciple. For the Upasika, the lay people, you can reach all of this, even the Arahant. So if you practice as the lay people, you can be the noble disciple. Yes. For the monastic, we can be the noble disciple, of course. Both way, we can reach the noble disciple. But for the monastic, we live in the certain environment with a certain group of people who have like the stronger faith and not stronger, with the strong faith, not stronger. We have the strong faith, and we have the time to practice more. So they say that for the monastic, it's going to be easier because with the right environment, right? We don't have to do the living. We just walk, go arms around in the village. So it's going to be easier. We have the suitable environment, atmosphere, and the Kalyana Mitta companion in this path, going to be easier. But for the lay people, the life, you have to make a living. You have to earn a living. You have to take care of your family. You have to work. You have to study, things like that. So you can reach the Sotapanna, Sakithakami, Anakami, and Arahant, but gonna be harder. But we all can reach the noble disciple. Hima asks, when I find a true person, like a good spiritual friend, I tend to have attachment on them and rely on them. Just want to learn more from them. Is that something okay to do? It's okay for you to learn from them, but not so okay for you to have attachment. Maybe because of the word attachment is not good, right? You attach to something, then you're gonna, like grab, hold on to something like tightly. So it's not the good concept. But like, I rely on you. I trust you, I rely on you, like a good teacher, like many, like, yeah, like the teacher, like the พระอาจารย์ like in Thai we have many พระอาจารย์ many great teacher. I trust you, not the person, but someone um, who is the disciple of the Buddha, who learn the words of the Buddha, and who are advanced in the teachings of the Buddha, who is more advanced in virtue, in compassion, in what is it, in wisdom, for example, more than me. So I rely on them. I trust them, but I don't attach to you, because if I attach to you and your, like your teacher, your good friend suddenly die, then you're gonna suffering. So I rely on you. We're gonna walk in this path together and learn more from you. That is cool. Okay. In Panya Sutra, the Wisdom Sutra, the Buddha said the factor for you to be more, have more wisdom is for you to have the good friend, Kalyanamitta, someone who pay respect to, someone who is, but someone who is like more revered and more advanced than you. But you have to go and ask for the advice. That is another factor. So it's not just like, oh, I have Kalyanamitta, I have the great teacher, I pay respect, but I'm afraid to go and consult. I'm afraid to go and ask for any advice. That is not the factor for the wisdom. You have someone that is more advanced than you, right? And then you have to go and learn from them too. So to answer to Hima question, it's okay for you to learn more from them and depend, but not totally. You don't attach to them, because there's a case when person attach so much on to the teacher, and when the teacher suddenly die, they just become like, I'm lost, I cannot do anything. But that's not true. We have the Buddha as like the role model, like the highest, the teacher. We learn from them, but try not to attach to them. Or we can have many teachers, we learn from them. Thank you. Lily said, what you said is so insightful and with so much metta, which really touched me inside. Thank you, Ayya. Thank you to you too. Lily, you can do it. It's much better for a person, to like, it's not healthy for me to care about you. I'm gonna protect here. I'm gonna love. I'm gonna protect here. Have the loving kindness here. Mm. They asks, dear Ayya, I recall you mentioned you teach other classes online where I might be able to find the schedule in detail. Thank you. We all appreciate your kindness and guidance. Here, what's it called? Mahawana Dhamma Sanctuary, or Mahawana Dhamma. I think this is the correct name. So I just type to you. Who are the Naka people? Hante, who are the Naka people? Who are the Naka people? What is Naka people? Is it Anaka people? What is it? Anakami, right? Anakami is the non-returner. If that is your question, Anakami is the non-returner. It's the third level. If you reach the Anakami, no hatred, no anger gonna arise in you. no more. And then no more sensory desire, but you still have the ruparaha, aruparaha. You still enjoy the meditative state of mind, the shana state. Hima said, "Thank you. I'm more afraid that the teacher may get impatient on me if I am attached. Could you please help explain how to detach on certain person? Appreciate it." Um, Normally the teacher won't get impatient. Won't get impatient. That's the worst. That is what I know. That the normally the teacher won't get impatient to teach, to guide, to give an advice, but they're gonna have like the schedule. Okay, during this time of the day that you can come and consult me, but not like 24 hours, not like that. Gonna be the time for the teacher to meditate for themselves. Gonna be the time for their own like teaching. So they're gonna give you specific time during the day for you to go and ask, so they're not gonna be impatient. And how to detach on a certain people, you have to remind of marananusati. Maybe think about the death. They too are the five aggregates. They too gonna die someday. Now that they still alive, gonna learn from them, but gonna give them the time to rest as well. But we know that they're gonna die someday. So apply the knowledge to the mind that okay, I'm gonna die someday. They're gonna die someday. When we still alive, we're gonna um, live with the mindfulness and compassion. I learned from you, but after I learn something from you, I ask you this question, and then gonna have some time to practice, and then try to understand. And then if I don't understand anything, then I come and ask you again, something like that. Yeah, think about the death. The Buddha said when you think about the death, often it make you not careless. This is good. Okay. Any more question? Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Hima. So yeah, this is the good sutra and also the good question and answer session. Mike asks, Aya, do you have any advice for one who struggle directing loving kindness at themselves? Directing loving kindness at themselves, right? Hmm. Normally, it's quite strange. It's quite strange that we tend to love other people easier than loving yourself, right? You always think about other people, what they're gonna think, what they're gonna like. Oh, I'm gonna, hurt that person, hurt something like that. But you just forget, you tend to forget yourself. But the source of the loving kindness actually comes from within, come from yourself. That is called the right source of loving kindness, gonna come from within. There's the metaphor that the right loving kindness has to come from within, and when it overflow, it's just like the water, and you pour the water into the glass, right? When it overflow, then you spread loving kindness to other persons. So first we have to change our mindset and perception, because I used to be like that. I'm care so much about other people's opinion and blah blah blah. I'm gonna torture myself for other people to be happy. But after the more we do, then we know like it's harder and harder to have the loving kindness. Why? Because it's not from the right source. So, now the right source is you have to start from here. You cannot work for anyone, you cannot make anyone happy if you still suffer inside. So, change the perception. Loving kindness has to come from here within. You love yourself first. You can work, you can walk, you can stand, you can eat, you can do any good things. How? From these hands, these legs, this body. So you have to keep this body function, perfectly, properly first. It's not that it's not selfish to take care of yourself, because good thing, the mind, how to practice the mind, you're gonna need this body, right? You're gonna reach the noble disciple, anything, you have to, tame the mind, but you're gonna have to use this body. So you have to take care of this body first. It's not selfish, it's self-love. And when you take care of this body, when you have, like adequate food, sleep, rest, happiness inside, the loving kindness gonna flow out from you naturally. So what is it? So then you maybe have to, change the perception. And when you love yourself, maybe you for someone who struggle directing loving kindness at themselves, maybe you learn to hug yourself first, like thank you. Thank you the body for, thank you the body, thank you the mind, thank you everything that, that I can pass the difficulties in life. Sometimes we forget to, hug ourselves. If we don't have other people, because as the monastic, we cannot go, can I hug you? Can I hug you? Stuff like that. So just, wow, you work a lot today. Wow. But it's good thing. But thank you the body, thank you the mind, thank you the leg, thank you everyone, thank you the food for people to offer us. So we have the energy, we have the strength. And then if you practice to do this, and have the loving kindness for you, may you be happy, may you be healthy. Because if you're healthy, if you're happy, then you're gonna make many good things for yourself and for other people. So start from here. Learn to hug yourself, learn to love yourself, practice from this, and it might help. It will help, not might, it will help. Tinuri Fernando asks, how could we use technology while being mindful? My mind tends to want to scroll through different emails or go through YouTube. Yeah, it actually, if we compare the life without technology, like for me as example, because it's easier for me to put myself as an example. When I first ordained, Prajan, the teacher, said like, no mobile phone, nothing for like maybe like a month or 3 months, I'm not sure. And at first very difficult, but the longer you get used to not having anything, the easier for you to meditate. But after that, the teacher said, okay, now, okay, come here and then work. You have to work for the monastery. You have to do the YouTube. You have to do, like PowerPoint. You have to do the Dharma, many things, like the chanting book and many things. And at that time, I have to use the mobile phone, computer, and things like that. So I know that, wow, it's harder to meditate. So if you know the drawback of the technology, then try to be mindful. That okay, for the work, um, maybe you just nowadays, right? Oh, enjoy scrolling, and then oh, too much enjoyment now. That's not good. That's not good. But for you, like a lay people, you can scroll, right? But for the monastic, moral conduct, not good, not good. Then stop. So you try to, you learn about the drawback. You compare yourself when use less and use more of the technology. Technology, everything has, two coins, right? Advantage and disadvantage. But if you know how to use it for the advantage, it's gonna be something that's good. For example, like now that we use technology, so you can listen to the Dhamma, right? But for me to like watch YouTube is not good. So okay, I have to be mindful. Like this is not good. This is not the conduct that I should keep. They should close or something like that. Try to be mindful. So yeah, to answer to your question, Tinori Fernando, know about the drawback. Mm, know about the drawback, and it will help. OBL said, Pante, who are snake or dragon people. Naka is one of the what's it called? One of the, can I use the living creature? Yeah, maybe the living creature in this Vata Sangsara, in this samsara. There's one realm they call the Naka, the snake or dragon, the serpent. But in the Abhidhamma, they are the animal. They are in the animal realm. Animal realm. Mm. And some of them are the in the Deva realm. So there are many groups of the Naka people. Some of them consider in the animal. Some of them consider in the first Deva realm. Mm. It's from the Tipitaka in the Abhidhamma. Does time exist in the universe? I don't think I have much knowledge to answer to this question. I'm sorry. Mai said, thank you so much. Bhumika said, thank you. Yeah, it's something that about time exists or not. I think it's something that is hard to talk about, and it's not something that is make you reach the knowledge and liberation, right? Like from this from the teachings of the Buddha, we're going to discuss about something that is beneficial in the path leading to the end of suffering. Greg said, were the Naka the seven snakes that protect the Buddha from the rain with their hooves? Yes, that is the Naka. The Naka that are like the animal state, the snakes. Snake with the seven heads. Um, that that snake with the seven head is called, what is it? Mujalintha that protect the Buddha from the rain. So they exist, as written in the Tipitaka. Sometimes they exist as the animal state. Sometimes, they are the animal, but they are the animal with the power, so they can, disguise themselves as the human. So there are some story that the Naka or the snake want to ordain. So they disguise themselves as the human, as the male human, to ask for the ordination. And at first, people, allow that Nakha human to ordain, right? But when they have the deep sleep, gonna change to the original form, which is the animal, like the snake. And people see that and like, oh, you are the snake, you are the Nakha, as in the people, so Nakha people. And the Buddha know about this, and the Buddha said, animal cannot ordain. Only human being can be ordained. Because it's not the good state for the animal to practice, right? So yeah, so then the Nakha have to change to the original form, and then they can keep, they can try to. That's what people say, that they can try to like um do their good deeds, but they cannot ordain as a human. Only human. When we ordain, they have the question, Manusosi, something like that. Are you human being? Then we have to answer, yes, I'm the human being. This is the process of the one of the process of before getting ordained. Okay, thank you everyone for coming in today. Like there are many people coming and asking the good question. Thank you very much for your interest, and see you again in 15 days. Okay, next week I'm gonna do the Dhamma session for the Mahawana Dhamma Sanctuary, and we're gonna see you here in the Buddhist Insight and Empty Cloud every 15 days. Okay, thank you everyone. Before we leave, say Sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, 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 Anumodhami. May you all be safe, be well, be happy, and know or have the right, associate yourself with the true friends or Kalayana Mitta, which is the first step for you to reach the Visha and Vimutti, or knowledge and liberation. Thank you everyone to staying tuned, and yeah, see you again next time. Goodbye. Have a good day. Sadhu. Thank you, Greg. Goodbye.